What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Eric and we are Ryden Dirty. Today's episode, we're going to be upgrading my 2021 Rockshox Yari fork. It's a 2021, it's brand new. I've only had it for about 6 weeks, but I was looking through all kinds of different forks. I was thinking about upgrading the stock fork, which came on my 2019 Evil Reckoning, and I was like, man, I want a new fork. But when I found out from the Losco that you could upgrade your fork with a very minimal amount of money, in my opinion, I was like, sure, let's do this. So what I'm gonna be doing today is upgrading the air spring from a 160 to 170 millimeters of travel. I'm also gonna be adding the RCT3 damper. And what this damper does is gonna give me a lot more adjustability based on the riding I do, and that's kind of what I want. I've already had experience with this kind of fork because I had a Rockshox Lyric, and I really liked that fork actually. That was what was on my Canyon Strive, and it was probably one of my favorite forks that I've ridden so far. Don't get me wrong, I still like the Fox stuff, but there was just something about the simplicity of the Rockshox fork that I really liked. And that was a Rockshox Lyric regular, I guess. Doing this upgrade is just gonna make the fork feel a lot better. It's also gonna give me that small bump sensitivity that I'm looking for. And from what I understand, upgrading these parts, it'll be more like a Rockshox Lyric Ultimate. So let's dive in. Let me show you the parts that I got and let's do this upgrade. All right, here we go. Here's our new damper, our Rockshox Lyric Yari RCT3. Came with a high-speed compression knob right here, low-speed compression knob, and our Rebound Adjustment. And, you know, other things that go with it. And over here on the other side, we have our new 170 millimeter air spring. So let's take this fork apart and let's put these upgrades in. All right, so the first thing we want to do is get our air pressure measurement. We need to know what we have in there so that when we put this thing back together, we have the same settings that we had before. All right, looks like we're running about 100 PSI. That sounds good, so let's record that and we're good to go. For our next step, we're gonna be letting all the air out of the fork so that we can take it apart so it doesn't explode into our face. All right, now for our next step, we need to take these bolts out. Right here is our Rebound Adjustment. We're gonna have to find out what our Rebound Adjustment is right now, and then we're going to pull this cap off and then get the bolt that's underneath that as well. On Rockshox website, they say to turn it 3 turns out, so that's 1, 2, 3, so that we can hammer on that to get it out. And on this side, it's a little bit easier. We just pull it right out, and then that's off, and then we loosen this the same way. And then we also want to go 3 turns. So that's 1, or that, now it's 1, 2, 3. And now we're just going to hit this with a rubber mallet to get it loose to break these bolts. All right, those are loose from what I understand. Yep. Now we're going to take these bolts out, everything that needs to come out of the bottom, so we can drain this directly into this bucket that is at the bottom down here. Dun, 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 dun. Wow, that's some dirty oil and this thing's brand new. There we go. That is all out. I'm not worried about doing like a full service or anything on them like that, but we are gonna try to wipe out everything that's inside of here and make sure it's all good. So I want to take out the air spring first. So what I'm going to do is undo this little ring right here with these snap ring pliers. So we're going to get in here, put these 2 little teeth in each one of these holes, and then we're going to open it or close them and pull the ring out. Here we go. So I know that there's a sharp end and a softer end. You want to make sure that the sharp end goes on the outside on the bottom and the softer part goes on the inside when you put it back together. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pull this air spring out now, and it should slide right out and we should be good to go. There we go. That was pretty easy. There it is. This is 160 millimeters of travel, and now we're going to be putting in the 170 millimeters of travel. So I need to pop this off right here. This is the cap for the air spring. And the reason I'm gonna be popping this off is because I wanna be able to clean out this whole entire tube right here. So we need to use our cassette tool in order to get it out, and that's what we're gonna do right now. So we had 2 volume spacers in there. I didn't know that because I did not put this together, but now we're going to clean this out. So now we're gonna take something, stick it down in there so we can get that thing nice and cleaned out. We're just gonna push this towel out, and that's gonna clean everything out that we need cleaned. And it's looking fresh in there, and that's all we had to do. Let's wipe off the top right here, make sure it's nice and clean. And now we're going to put our volume spacers and cap back on, and then we'll put the air spring back in, and we are done with this side. So the last time we did this and we changed air springs, I put like a ridiculous amount of grease up on the top. I'm not gonna do that this time. I didn't know. Someone had told me, or I saw something somewhere where somebody put a bunch of grease on top, and I thought that's what I was supposed to do. Really what you wanna do is put the grease around here and then around here, just so it's like, these are the friction spots that are gonna be inside the fork going up and down and all that. So we're gonna put the grease there. All right, let's grease it up, put it in. Slick honey all over this, so it's nice and greasy. There we go, greasy, greasy. Now let's do the top part. We're gonna go right around this ring right here. There we go, greased up. Let's do this, let's put it back in. There we go. We just need to put our snap ring back in. Like I said before, make sure that the sharp side, feel it, you'll feel a sharp side and you'll feel a soft side. Soft side goes in, sharp side goes on the outside. All right, that's in. We're good to go right there. All right, for our next step, we need to take off this cap so we can get to the compression knob and get this whole thing out. And then after we're done, we'll go underneath, that's down below, and get the snap ring out. There we go. It's gonna be pretty interesting to take this one apart because I've never seen inside these before. I just know what the other ones look like. All right, here we go. Well, that's a whole lot of oil that's in there. And I guess we're gonna have to dump all that oil out to the bottom. But here's what the old damper looks like. There you go. So I'm gonna take this thing off, then I'm going to drain it into here. Look at that fresh, brand new oil that I'm not even gonna use because I'm changing the parts out. Now we're gonna use our snap ring pliers just like we did earlier to get these out. There we go. Now that that's out, and we're gonna push all the oil out of that one as well. All right, let's turn this thing right side up so we can put our new damper in. There we go. Bloop. Bloop. Should probably put some grease around these threads right here, because guess what? We're gonna be going to Angel Fire Bike Park. We want our stuff to work right so we don't die falling down the mountain. So It's kind of weird that you don't have to put the snap ring back in, but I mean, at the same time, it makes sense because there is no spot for a snap ring. So then we're good. Grease and whatnots right there. Now we have to install the compression adjustment. Woo, here we go, we're almost there. 1, 2, 3. And then let's tighten the rest of that down. All right, we got that bad boy in there. All right, let's reinstall these lower fork legs real quick. There we go. All right, so for our last step of putting these things back together, we need to put some oil in these lowers, and we need 0 weight 30 Rockshox oil, and that's what we're gonna put in, 10 cc's each. So this little syringe I have right here is 5 cc's, and we're gonna do 2 of each. One, 2. There's 1 and 2. Wipe that up, wipe that up. Let's get these things lined up. Oh, there we go. We're almost there. They're not quite lined up all the way, so I'm gonna use this pick right here just to get in there. Move it around just a little bit. All right. There we go. That one's lined up. Now we're gonna take our other piece right here and line it up, and we're gonna tighten them down. There we go. All right, we got our torque wrench, and we're gonna tighten these down to 7.3 Newton meters based on the Rockshox installation manual. There we go. There we go, 7.3 on both. All right, so one of the last things we have to install is our rebound adjustment. We're gonna put that in, and then it has a little locking pin right here, and we're gonna lock it in and we're done. All right, I guess that's just how it is. We're just gonna put it back in. All right, well, let's flip these things over. We need to install our air valve and then our air cap, and then we'll put some air in it and we're done. We wanna make sure that we tighten this down to the right torque spec as well. So this needs to be tightened to 28 Newton meters, so we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. There we go, 28 Newton meters. So now we're gonna put our air valve back in so we can put some air in these forks and then go jump a house. We're not gonna jump a house, that was a joke. We're gonna go back to putting 100 PSI in here. There we go, 100 PSI. Well, there you go, everyone. That's how you install a new damper inside the Rockshox Yari fork and also add another air spring. Pretty much easy job. I would say out of a scale 1 to 10, this job is probably a 5. And you know, it wasn't too hard, and I had it done pretty quick. For about as long as this video, that's about how long it took. It was pretty easy. So if you're gonna do it, upgrade your fork, save some money. I mean, I think this whole kit cost me about $320, I believe it was. If you would like to support the channel, go ahead and hit the link down below for the company called The Lost Co. The Lost Co is where I bought all the parts for this. There's an affiliate link there, so you'd be helping the channel out, also helping out The Lost Co, and they're a great company. They have great customer service, and they ship really fast. So, I mean, it's a win-win for you if you want to do the same thing. So, yeah, if you like what we do, hit that like button. If you want to see what we're up to next, hit that subscribe button. And always remember, start small and go huge. Thanks for watching.